the boogeyman, the monsters under the bed and in the closet, that fear that grips your heart as a young child trying to sleep in a dark room all alone. It's the same fear that gripped my heart as a 4-year-old when I was suddenly awakened from a nightmare, just to find that the nightmare had followed me into the waking world. I sat up quickly in bed, my eyes wide open, a cold sweat, my heart pounding in my chest like a bass drum. There he was, the boogeyman from the dream, vivid. I could see his every detail at the foot of my bed. The only thing I could think was to jump out of the bed, get to my parents as quick as I could. I ran out of the front door, busted through the door, ran down the dirt road, a path full of rocks and stones that led to my aunt and uncle's house. We lived in 2 separate houses on an old farm in a country area. There were no street lights. There were no city lights. The only thing that lit my path was the moon and the stars from above. I knew if I made it to my aunt and uncle's house quick enough that he wouldn't be able to catch me. I didn't know how close he was, how much time I had, but when I saw the lights on the porch, I jumped up onto the porch and I began to scream, "Mama, Daddy, help me!" There was no answer. No one seemed to be there. Then I heard a voice calling my name from a distance. I jumped off the porch and began running back down the pathway towards my home, and there was my mother. She grabbed me in her arms and held me safe. I felt comforted. I felt safe for the first time. She took me into the house to tell what had happened to me. I didn't realize that on the run from the monster to my aunt and uncle's house, I'd split open my big toe. There was blood gushing from it. It was the adrenaline. It was the fear that had kept me from feeling that pain. And also the fact that I was caught in between my nightmare and the real world. When we sat down to talk about it, my mother thought it was very strange that I had made it through the front door. She had just gone to bed moments before I had woken from the nightmare. It was a door that I was never able to get through when I was awake in normal hours. She had just recently secured the lock, so she knew it was locked. So we even tried later for me to try to open that lock, and I had no way of doing it. My hands were not strong enough or large enough to open the lock. So it remained a mystery of how I made it through the door. It wasn't busted, nothing was broken. So we still don't know how that happened. The mystery of how I unlocked that door was never solved. However, there were many sleepwalking incidents to follow. None ever quite like that night where I was stuck in between the dream world and reality. None quite as terrifying as that experience. Thank you for listening to my story. Good night.